Boys and girls in kindergarten, we are starting chapter 6 with this video. Now, anytime we start a chapter, that means we're doing a little extra. We're going to do the introduction and also we're going to do the first lesson. But I think you also probably remember the introduction is not very much work, is it? And the first lesson, because you already know so much math, the first lesson is usually pretty basic also. So I don't think this is going to be very hard. Guys, here we are. My light seems to be cooperating today. We'll see how long that lasts. You can see right here, chapter 6, subtraction. And one of the things we often talk about with subtraction is that some things go away. Can you see? There were 4 penguins on this piece of ice, and 1 penguin jumped into the water. Do you see how we had 4? 1 went away. That's kind of the usual thing with subtraction. And how many are left? Next page. Now, we're going to use some of the things that we did in chapter 1 here. So here, we're going to count and see how many, right? That's pretty easy. Then down here, we're going to draw 1 fewer. Do you remember that? We did a lot of more and fewer. So here's this number, 2, and down here, we're going to draw 1 fewer. So that means we take off one of those, right? That's pretty easy. Draw that in down there. It's always a good idea to color it in just a bit as well. And go ahead and write that number right here. Same thing over here. Count how many, write that number here. Then down here, you're going to make 1 fewer. So you're just going to have this one covered up. And that is how many you're going to make down here. Then write the number over here. Pause the video if you need to catch up. Now here, we're starting with comparing. Comparing is another thing we do a lot with subtraction. So this is kind of warming our brain up for the comparing part of subtraction. Here, all we're doing, first of all, count how many and write that number over here. Then count how many and write this number here. Then, again, we're talking subtraction, so we're usually talking fewer or less. So don't write the word less and circle it. Choose the train of cubes that has less cubes and circle that train of cubes that has less. All right, here you're going to be adding. Just a little review of what we did. Do you see we have some butterflies here? And we have some bees here and some bees here. All you're going to do is count all of them up together. Can you see this word right here? Add. That's what you've been doing. So add them all up together, and then you can see right down here, there's a little space for you to write it. Next here is the game, which if you want to work with your family and try to figure out a way to play that game, you may, but I haven't provided the materials for it, so you can skip it if you would like to. All right, this is going to be so easy. Lesson 6.1, subtraction, taking from. Taking away. Like I said, this is the basic thing we usually think of with subtraction. It's not the only situation for subtraction, but this is the usual one, and you can see it right here, right? We had 3 kids sitting at the table, didn't we? Can you see this empty chair that this boy just got out of? The 3 children were at the table. Well, 1 went away, but this says take away 1. And that leaves 2, so go ahead, grab your pencil, trace these numbers. Then turn the page, and we're just doing the same thing. These children were all sitting at the table. I would guess these 2 used to be sitting right here. So, go ahead, we started out with 4. This many went away, write that right there, and then how many are left at the table? Go ahead and write that down here. Do you see how they're using a similar format to what they did when you guys started out with addition? And we'll be writing number sentences here real soon. All right, now here they don't even start out with a number, so let's just check how many children altogether. Write that number, take away how many, and then how many left, write that number down here. Last page, all right, there is a boy and his name is Blair. Now Blair has 2 marbles, so I want you to draw those marbles. I'm gonna make them be, let's see. We'll have yellow marbles with I'm going to put some green. I don't get to use my green very often. There are yellow marbles with maybe some green on them also. All right. His friend comes up and takes one of the marbles away. So you don't even have to, right here, we're going to write that we started out with 2 and 1 marble got taken away. Then down here, you're just going to write how many marbles are left.